Being in the outdoor industry for the past 20 years, I've had the pleasure of testing the latest and greatest products each and every year. And for 2022, Zeiss has come out with a couple of heavy hitters. The Zeiss LRP S5 in 3 to 18 by 50 and 5 to 25 by 56. These are some awesome scopes, and we're going to show you what the hype is all about. For the past 3 months, I've been putting the Zeiss LRP S5 3 to 18 by 50 to the test. These scopes have been designed with the PRS shooters in mind, but I will say that they make one of the finest long-range hunting scopes I've ever tested. When you have a trophy of a lifetime in your sights, I think that a precise shot is more important than when you're shooting for points. So I looked at this from a hunter standpoint, as most of our viewers fit this description as well. Let's do a quick overview of this scope and we'll discuss some of the features and benefits that make this thing so great. Both this scope and the 5 to 25 are 34mm tubes. They give you a whopping 30 minutes of adjustment per revolution in MOA and 140 MOA total. I love the large elevation and windage knobs and the large engraved numbers on both. I can see them even at low light without my readers. The reticle options are the best I've ever used, and the floating center dot makes precision aiming unmatched, and that's just the beginning. You're definitely going to want to use a rail when mounting the scope. The approximate 2 inches of barrel on the front part of the scope and 2.5 inches on the rear limits adjustment with other mount setups. Even though this scope has a generous 3.5 inches of eye relief, the rail mount setup will allow you to move the scope back and forth to provide the shooter with the best eye relief for their personal setup. To hit a target, you first have to see the target. The Zeiss company has been an optical authority in the world for over 175 years and building rifle scopes since 1904, so you would expect them to have it dialed in. They definitely didn't disappoint in this department. The best of the best shot glass, fluoride lens elements, and T-star coatings gives you 90% light transmission. Combine that with the digitally controlled diffractive illuminated reticle, and this is a major powerhouse when you're in low light situations when trophy game is most active. Next up is sighting in and long range testing, which means repeatability and trackability. When I adjust the turret 1.5 MOA or 6 clicks, does it move the point of impact 1.5 inches downrange each and every time. The distinct clicks with both the windage and the elevation make it very easy to hear the adjustments, and the engraved large numbers on the turret make it easy to see them as well. When you're shooting downrange at 500, 600, or beyond, you come back to your pre-established zero. You always want it back to zero. That's the repeatability I addressed. When you are shooting hundreds, if not thousands of rounds a year, this is paramount, and our testing over the past 3 months showed that this thing is bulletproof when it comes to that. The Ballistic Stop on the LRP S5 is one of the best designs and simplest to set up I've ever seen. We have our 200-yard zero, and now we want to set our Ballistic Stop so that we can quickly come back to zero each and every time. This is as simple as loosening the 2 set screws on the elevation turret, push the turret all the way down until it comes to a stop, and then rotate clockwise until it stops. This will be a hard stop, and zero will reflect on the turret. Now tighten the 2 set screws and you are good to go. When doing the windage, pull the locking ring out, loosen your set screws, adjust to zero, and tighten the set screws. It's that easy. One thing to be aware of when doing this is you will still hear audible clicks, but rest assured, this is not adjusting the point of impact as long as the set screws are loosened up. I had a hard time trusting this for the first few times, but consistent testing proved it works. It's the best setup in my opinion. These scopes come in either MOA as our test model or mil radian or MRAD as it's more commonly known. Regardless of which model you choose, these 34mm tubes provides a massive amount of adjustment, 140 minutes of elevation adjustment and 40.7 mils for the MRAD models, 60 MOA of windage adjustment and 24 mils in the MRAD version. These high-end scopes are first focal plane, and what that means for your newer shooters is that all the markings on the reticles for either the MOA or MRAD are precise regardless of what power the rifle scope is on. These reticles, whether the ZF-MOAi or the ZF-MOAi, are clean and clutter-free and provided for a quick reference downrange. This also means that your subtensions are very small at the lower magnification and larger at the higher magnification. This allows you to get your free-floating center dot the perfect size for your eye and the target situation to put more consistent shots downrange. The illuminated reticle is what's referred to as diffractive reticle illumination technology. which means it's digitally controlled to provide variable intensity. What that means in layman's terms is that you can adjust for a crisp, clean crosshair that you can see in any light condition. Only the center portion of the crosshair is lit up, which focuses your eye to the center floating dot. Once turned on, it's activated when in the shooting position. Laying on its side or pointing down in a safe position or slung over your shoulder, it shuts it down due to the internal angle sensor. When you move into the shooting positions, it's active and ready long before you are. For more detailed specifications on each individual model of these scopes, make sure you visit the Zeiss website, as you can see everything you want to know about these optics, including the limited lifetime warranty and transferable 5-year no-fault policy. In all of my years of field testing optics, I've never put a rifle scope to the test that's even close to what this thing has to offer. The price isn't for the faint of heart, as the 3 to 18 by 50 models are going to set you back $3,499, and the 5 to 25 by 56 models are going to cost you about $37.99, regardless of which reticle you choose. That's a lot of money, but you get what you pay for, and when you have a trophy of a lifetime in your sights, you aren't going to wish you would have scrimped on price. Your only concern is that you can see your target and put your projectile on its mark. So this trophy goes home with you, and the Zeiss LRP S5 series scopes definitely does that each and every time. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel, as we field test products on a regular basis and we break it down in layman's terms so you see what you're going to get with your hard-earned money before you ever have to spend it.